Nebraska Attorney General Jon Bruning joined Florida in the lawsuit. He joins us live. Good evening, sir. And let me ask you a question. I assume that one of your issues, or you've joined in the suit, so you don't like the idea of being forced to, your citizens forced to get health insurance, but it's also the cost, right? The unfunded mandate and the pressure it puts on Nebraska. Is that right?
Yeah, it's no secret, Greta, that the states are in a dire financial position right now. The revenues are not enough to pay the bills. Every state's in that position. Nebraska maybe less so than some others because of good management by our governor and others, but we're in a tough spot. Every state is. And so for the federal government to say we're going to add thousands of people to the Medicaid rolls, we just can't afford it right now.
All right, so there are two issues. Let me ask you sort of an unusual question. Let's say that the reconciliation bill did not prevail, which means that we are now back to the Senate bill, and Senator Ben Nelson has managed to negotiate a rather large amount of money for your state. I take it then that that issue would sort of fall off to the side, at least as far as it goes to Nebraska, because you guys got some money coming your way if the reconciliation bill dies.
Well, I mean, first of all, Nebraskans hated that, and I think Senator Nelson realizes that at this point, that we were embarrassed by it. We don't want anything that's not fair. Nebraskans are very fair. They want the same deal as everybody else. But here's the part that people were missing. The Cornhusker kickback might have paid for people's care. So if somebody needed an x-ray, it was going to pay for that in perpetuity. What it didn't pay for was the enormous bureaucracy that would have to be created to take care of all these people that will now go on the Medicaid roll. This deal is so sweet that my understanding is you'll have many, many people who will drop the insurance coverage they now have to join Medicaid because it's going to be a better deal. And that is a problem for the states. We don't have the bureaucracy in place to take on tens of thousands of new people on the Medicaid rolls.
Why did you pick Florida? That's the first question, as your form of where to file. And secondly, maybe this is related to it, is there any way to expedite this at all? Or is this going to drag out from now until kingdom come like many lawsuits in our court system?
Well, I hope it doesn't drag out from now until kingdom come. We're thinking 12 to 18 months. It will have to go through the 11th Circuit. Undoubtedly, either side would appeal, the Department of Justice or the Attorneys General. And we actually think this will go to the U.S. Supreme Court. And where it probably should be decided is in the U.S. Supreme Court, whether or not Congress has this unlimited power under the Commerce Clause. We think the Commerce Clause has limits. The Supreme Court has said it does in a couple of recent cases in 1995 and 2000. And that Congress can't force anyone to buy whatever product or service they choose. They can regulate commerce, but they can't go so far as to say you have to buy a product. You have to engage in commerce. This bill punishes inactivity. Somebody who wants to sit on the sideline gets punished. We picked Florida for no particular reason. It could have been Nebraska. It could have been a lot of places. We had to pick somewhere. You know, maybe it's the palm trees, Greta. It's a beautiful place, but so is Nebraska. You know.
I've been to Nebraska. It's beautiful. All right, I have a copy of the complaint here, the one that's been filed in Florida. It's 23 pages. It seems to me that whoever wrote this has spent some time on it. So you didn't begin writing this today when the president signed the bill. When did the discussion begin, and when did you all you attorneys generals get together?
We've been talking about a lawsuit for many, many weeks, probably since Christmas time, when we knew that this bill was starting to coalesce and the Senate had the 60 votes. About that time, we started talking about it. I can tell you there was a conference call 2 nights ago now, once the bill passed the House and it indeed seemed like it was going to become law. At that point, there was a conference call among the attorneys general late at night. We decided to pull the trigger on this. Those that were interested said so at that point. We reached out to our governors, those of us that wanted to do that, and pulled the trigger today, minutes after the president signed the bill.
All right, we only have 20 seconds left. You didn't need permission from your governor, though, do you? I mean, do the attorney generals to file this?
No, but I mean, in my state, we work very closely together, so I want to make sure that he and I are on the same page. In some states, attorneys general need permission, in others they don't. In mine, he and I are of a like mind on this issue.
Thank you, sir. Good luck, sir.
Thanks, Greta.